Uh, Buford, tell me about growing up. Did you ever go play down among them caves and stuff where the old cement plant was at?
Well, I was probably about 12 or 13 before I ever went down there because my mother died, when I was just a kid, and he kept us right close to the house. I guess it was probably 12 or 13 years old before I did go down there, but I did go down there quite a bit, and I enjoyed going down there, and we've done some fishing down there, and I've been all back through them caves. And, there ain't much difference in them now than there was then, though. I hadn't been down there in the last few years, but it looks to me like by looking at them that they're still just like it was. But they have went down there and done a lot of work around it and made it look a lot better. I know that. Man that bought it, he done some grading off down there and made it look a lot better. I don't know what he's intending on doing with it, but he must be intending on doing something or he would have done it.
Well, what about the old ruins of the plant? What was there anything left of the plant, like the foundations and stuff like that, down there?
They was for a pretty good while, but it was all moved out, and they moved it from down here to the old Portland cement plant. That's where it was originated. Portland cement was, which you can't get about Portland cement now because this is the starting of it. And they moved it to Rockmart, and they changed it from Portland cement to Marquette. And they run it for, Lord, I don't know how many years, and then they shut it down. I don't know what the name is going by down there now.
Well, I don't either. I don't think it's a cement plant anymore. I think it just used them silos to store stuff in.
Is that right?
Well,
I hadn't been up at that cement plant. I mean, I know they did build one on up above that one, but as far as where they built, I was thinking they was making cement down there because, them Goss boys, they owned them rocks and things down there, and they sold them to this company, and they drilled the rocks out. And, I think they did make some cement down there. I don't remember the name of it. But it was, I was just trying to think if I could remember the name of the cement that I think they made down there, but I can't, it don't come to my recollection right off.
But tell me, let me ask you this. Can you tell me some of the names of the folks that lived around here in Portland when you lived over here? Was it mostly kin folks?
Well, they were a lot of kin folks. There was a row of houses on the back of the road that goes up to the end of the road where Lester Lanham lived. They had some houses built up there. They had some colored folks living up there that worked at the cement plant. And I don't know how many there was, but there was 4 or 5 houses up there, I know. I don't remember the houses, but I remember them talking about it. And there's a lot of things that can't come back to my remembrance, whether I remember them or not, or I was told about them so many times that I can get it confused with whether I remember it or whether I just heard it so much it left an impression in my mind. But my daddy was he was a blacksmith down there. He worked down there. I don't know how many years he worked there. He was sick, and he never did have too much to say because he just in and out of bed from the time I got up old enough to even start to school. He didn't get to stay up much. He was just in and out of the bed. And
Well, did Lester Lanham work at the cement plant?
If he did, I don't know it. I think Lester worked more or less at cotton mills. Lester and Lon. Now Grover Lanham, which he was dead before I was born, he worked down there, and there was several people around here that did work down there, but they might be some of them still living, but I wouldn't recollect who they was right now, their names. But my dad worked there, I don't know how many years, but he worked there a good many years. I reckon that's about all he ever done, except what few years he tried to farm.
Well, did you ever work in the cotton mill in Aragon?
Me?
Yeah.
I worked there just a little while. And when I found out it was going to shut down, I got another job and went to it. Because I had a family, you know, and I couldn't be without work, so I just always, if I found out a job was closing down, I always went somewhere and found me another job for it. I was left out in the cold.
Yeah, what years did you work down here at the mill? Do you remember?
No, I don't remember. I was working at General Motors. It was after '68 though, because I went to work at General Motors in '68 and worked there till '92. That's my retirement date was in '92. And but at Lord, I've worked I don't know how many places. I made caskets for Atlanta Metallic Casket Company and
Where were they located at?
Villarica. They shut down, and they got to where they was letting us off a week before they shut down, and I had 2 kids, and there wasn't no way I could do that, so I just told them I was going to have to let them have it and go find me something else because I had a family to take care of. I had a wife and 2 children, and my expenses was kind of high, but I know things wasn't near as high them days as they are now, but I guess according to the way that things has worked out, that it was about, I don't guess it'd be all that much difference in what the price is then and what they are now, as much as things have changed.
Well, now, you said, so you worked at the Aragon mill before you went to General Motors?
Yeah, I was working at Aragon when I found out that they sent a feller down from up the country, up in Carolinas, I believe he was. Bob Kellett, I believe was his name. He come over there and he helped shut the mill down. And there was several people around here that worked at Aragon Mills. About all the people that I know of around here worked at Aragon Mills.
Were you working there when they had that strike?
No, that was before I was old enough to go to work. They had, when they put that union in over there, that's about all they had was trouble. They had people who didn't know how to run it. And they would, if they done something that they didn't think they was doing, they'd just holler strike and everybody shut the job down and go home. So you can imagine what that done to the union. It absolutely just completely closed it down. It didn't close the mill down, but it closed the jobs down until they got rid of the union. And then they put the people back to work. And all of my people, all of my uncles, my dad had 9, there was 12 in his family, 9 boys and 3 girls, and I reckon just about all of them worked at the mill over there. And Grover he was dead before I was born, but he was a guard down there, and he run up on somebody down there, and he was trying to get to him, And I don't know what he was going to do to him, but anyway, he wound up getting shot. But it didn't kill him, he lived, but I don't know how many years he lived after that. I talked to his boy, which was Bob Lanham. Robert Lanham is his name, but we called him Bob. And he talked about him a right smart. But there was a lot of people worked down there at that cement plant at one time. I don't know how many they did have, because that was back before my time, because I don't even remember my daddy coming out when I was born in 35. And by the time I got up old enough to remember anything, everything had completely changed, and my memory don't go back far enough to be able to give you the dates or nothing on it.
Well, now, when you worked at the mill in Aragon, do you remember the Christmas parties they had down there? Did they have more
Christmas party, yeah, I went to a lot of them.
What all did they do at the Christmas party?
Well, they just had tables and things set up, and people would carry gifts to one another, you know, their friends and different ones, drawed names. Some of them drawed names, and some of them just carried their friends a gift. And they'd have refreshments, you know, people to eat.
Where'd they have it at?
At the old gymnasium down there on the corner. Yeah, I ain't talking about the one that's up at that used to be on the highway there. I'm talking about the one down on the corner down there, right beside the school. Almost beside the lunchroom in the schoolhouse.
You talking about that building? The only building that's left there of the school now? That was the old gym, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
Right there on the corner.
Did you go to school in Aragon?
I went 9 years there. I didn't get to go all that much the last couple of years because Daddy was sick. He had to stay in the bed, and there was only 3 of us boys. Gordon, my oldest brother, he had already left home, and it was nobody left but me and James, and he was 2 years younger than I was. And I was the one that had to stay at home and take care of my dad, to which I don't regret it at all. I'm proud I can say that I did do the best I could for him. But he did. He kept us all together, and he done the best by us he could, to which, you know, without a mother being in the house, you know, you didn't get the raising that anybody would have got that did have a mother and a father in the family. But I did get to go, and when I went to school, back whenever I was going, I know that my time was going to be limited at school on account of him being in shape he was in. And when I went, I did try everything I could to learn everything I could. And I went through the Aragon school, which was the junior high. And I wanted to go to Rockmart, but I knowed I wouldn't be able to go and finish high school, so I didn't get to go. But it wasn't my fault. It was just due to the circumstances and the shape it was in that I wasn't, you know, financially able to, you know, I wasn't old enough to work no way. Because I come out in 54. If I had went on and graduated at Rockmart High School, I would have graduated in 1954. But I did manage to go in 1985, I believe it was, at the Cedartown High School and take the GED test, in which I passed it and I got my GED. But I was so old in, it didn't really help me all that much, but at least it's something that I'm proud of.
Well, that's something to be proud of. My dad-in-law went about that time and got a GED.
Is that right?
He was over in Alabama, but he and his wife both went and got the GED.
Well, whenever I come out, See, I come out, I'm in 45, about 50. Let me see, I didn't get to go start till I was 7 years old. Now, my other two brothers, because their birthday was before school started, they got to go at 6. But my birthday was in July, and I had to wait an extra year before I could go. And I had to go for 7 and then 9, 7 and 9 will be 16. Well, that was too old, too young to get a job and go to work anywhere. And I worked around the fields, and I hope, people raise their crops and everything, and work from sun up to sundown, and I think for $2.50 a day. Most of my time over there, I worked with either J.J. Ingle or either Marshall Presley, and they pretty well kept me busy all the time. They was good about working me, because my dad wasn't able to work, and he wasn't drawing no pension or nothing, because I don't reckon they had pension from that cement plant. They might have now, but they didn't back then. And then he died in 1952, my dad did. I was 16 years old when he died. I was from July till August the 8th. Well, like a month of being 16 years old plus 1 month whenever he died. And then I had a younger brother myself, and I kind of tried to take care of him and do what I could to help him till we just finally found us a place to stay. And that's how we went ahead and made it on up till we got up old enough to go to work. And when we went to work, we had a place to stay, and we respected it. We was very good about trying to help the people that we stayed with before we went to work, because there wasn't no money coming in, and I just helped do the housework. I mean, toting water, and back then you done your washing and more wash pots, and I'd get the wood down out of the woods and cut it up and build a fire and fill the wash pots up and help get the clothes in. Stuff like that. And then at night, when it was to get breakfast cooked every morning, I had to take a little buck saw and saw enough wood to get the breakfast cooked with, and plus build a fire in the fireplace or wherever it was at. We had a heater at the fireplace too. Sometimes we burnt the heater, sometimes we burnt the fireplace. And I kept all of that done for my keep, and they done my washing and ironing and everything. And then whenever I was 20 years old, I got married and started my family, moved out. I lived with the people that I was staying with for a few years. I moved out after I married. 1 week after I married, I moved out into a house and bought my furniture and got it paid off. And the house that my daddy owned here, it was a 3-room house, and I come over here and cleaned the place up to where it could be a house built on it, and I built a 4-room house, and to which, since all of that's happened, my kids all got away from home, and I had the money, I've added on to it. I've had it remodeled about 3 times.
Well, Buford, I appreciate you talking to me about your memories.
Yeah, there's a lot of that stuff that I was telling you about. I can't remember the years because back then, years really didn't mean that much to us. I mean, we were just young people, and done the best we could do.
Well, I appreciate it. I may come back over here and if there's some other subject comes up that I think you might know
Well, if
something
you'll take
about.
that book that I give you last night, and look in there, you can. I'm pretty sure that it gives. Well, I know there's people in there that I know. They pictures of them, but now the pictures wasn't all that good. But they give their name, and I think it give where they lived in Aragon or wherever the last, But it was a good. It must have been a good place to work, because my daddy worked down there I don't know how many years. But you know what a blacksmith is? They shoed horses and made different kind of stuff, and had to heat that metal so you could just about twist it with your hand if it wasn't so hot and make what he needed to make out of it. But he enjoyed it.